Yo, what is going on, everybody? This is RBT and welcome back to another Madden 18 experiment, and today I have what is one of the most ultimate experiments that you can possibly do in Madden 18. We're going to see which team will prevail, a 99 overall offense with a 0 overall defense, or a 0 overall defense with a 99 overall offense. Yeah, I'm sitting here editing this video and I realize I'm freaking stupid. I'm a freaking idiot, but you guys see the title of the video. I'm just freaking stupid. I literally have no idea how this is going to go, but what we're going to do is we have jumped into a connected franchise, and I, just by chance, am controlling the team with a full 99 overall offense and a 0 overall defense. We're going to sim this season, see how both teams do throughout the season, and both teams do have to play each other twice because I am the Bears. I think the other team is the Vikings, so we are in the same division. So each team is going to play each other twice. We're going to have to see who comes out victorious. It's really weird because if you look on the screen now, the 99 overall offense is a 46 overall, but the defense is a 52 overall. So with that being the case, I think the 99 overall defense is going to do better, but we're going to have to see. But before we do jump into today's experiment, if you guys do enjoy the video, let me know by dropping a like. Let's see if we can smash 2,000 likes for more Madden 18 experiments. If you guys have any more ideas for future Madden 18 experiment videos, let me know in the comment section below. And if I see one with a lot of thumbs up, you'll have a chance to have your comment featured for an upcoming video. But I want you guys to let me know your predictions for how this is going to go in the comment section below. I'm going to predict that, probably just based on the overalls, that the 9 overall defense is going to finish 2-14. Because I feel like both of these teams are just not going to do well. I don't know, it's actually really interesting because you see, if you base this by their overalls, they should be awful, like 0-16 easily, except when they play each other, obviously. But I don't know, when you think about it, I mean, the 9 overall offense, they should score a lot, and then vice versa for the team that has a 9 overall defense. So I have no idea, but let me know how you think this is going to go in the comment section below. Which team do you think is going to do better, and what do you think both teams' record is going to be? Like, I genuinely have no idea. This could be super surprising. They both could, go 6, well, I guess they couldn't go 16-0, but you get the point. They both could make the playoffs. I have no idea. But for the video's sake, I am controlling the Chicago Bears. As you see, we have a full 99 overall offense. But once we go over to the defense, everybody on defense, it says 12 overall, but by now, if you're familiar with the channel or familiar with Madden 18 experiments, you know by now that Madden's freaking stupid, and although every single rating 0 overall, it still says the defensive or the players are 12 overall. But as you see, full 0 overalls on defense. Now if we go over to the Vikings, every single defensive player is 9 overall, but once we go over to the offense, every single player is 0 overall. So why don't we just go ahead and jump into the experiment. If you guys have yet to subscribe to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and to turn on the notification bell if you haven't. But with that said, I guess all we can do is sim straight to the playoffs and see how the heck this goes. So boys, we have made it to the end of the simulation. It looks like we didn't make the playoffs. Everybody on offense is still a 9 overall, and on defense, everybody's still a 12 overall, although it looks like we did sign a couple players. I didn't sign them. I have the computer signing off, but Madden just, wants to make things difficult. But obviously, we didn't do too well as we went 0-16, but the Vikings went 12-3-1. Now, I'm confused. If the computer effed this up, I'm going to be pissed. So if we go to the Vikings, and if they have, I feel like they signed players. If they did, I'm going to be pissed. Yep, of course. Did they actually trade for players? Did the computers actually make trades on their own? Is that new? I guess the way I'm gonna have to go about doing this, I can't tell if they signed free agents or if they traded for players, because Jimmy Garoppolo is not a free agent. Well, this completely screwed up the experiment. I guess what I'm gonna have to do is do a completely whole new connected franchise and make a second account and add that second account to the connected franchise and sim the season that way so that the computer doesn't sign free agents and completely F up the experiment each and every time. But just kind of curious, we did have the best offense in the NFL, but of course we had the worst defense. Sam Bradford won the MVP, although his team went 0-16. Now the reason this is interesting is because a lot of the time it seems like the MVP is based not completely on statistics, but it helps out the player if their team is better. But Sam Bradford, obviously, this doesn't matter because he went 0-16 as a team and still won the MVP. 71 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 7,000 yards passing. That definitely warrants, an MVP season. We had our backup running back run for 22 touchdowns, and Laquan Treadwell almost had 2,000 yards receiving, and Blake Bell had 29 receiving touchdowns. How did he not? Okay, so if somebody had 28 receiving touchdowns and they didn't come in the top 10, he didn't come in the top 10 in the MVP race. He had 28 receiving touchdowns. This game is AIDS. So we did win 2 preseason games, but then we do awful in the regular season. So we actually had some close games, some very close games. We lost by 2, by 5. The Browns traded Sammy Coates to the Texans, but yet Jimmy Garoppolo didn't get traded to the Vikings. I guess he just randomly, magically appeared on the Vikings. So trying this again, and as you can tell, I'm in a different shirt because it's a different day. I didn't feel like recording the rest of this video on the day I recorded the first part. So let's try this again. Crazy enough, just some random dude named Dowling Chunk 176 joined my franchise. This is crazy. So let's see how it went this time around. We didn't make the playoffs, but our record was, we actually did better than the team with the 99 overall defense and the 0 overall offense. Wow. And the crazy thing is, last time we went 0-16, this time we win 5 games. And let me see if the computer signed any players on defense. I don't know why every time it signs like a couple defensive players, but I guess it's something you can't really do. But we actually won 1 more game than the team with the 0 overall offense. I'm curious to see, even with having another user control that team, if they ended up signing another quarterback, and they didn't. So the experiment didn't get flawed in that sense. And it still has this stupid freaking glitch where like some of the players' accuracy ratings and some of their ratings look like 254, which it isn't actually that, but this game's just freaking stupid. And somehow, some way, Mike Glennon's awareness went up to 3. So of course we had the #1 offense and the worst defense. Sam Bradford, of course, won the MVP. We had Latavius Murray come in 3rd place, and then we had nobody else come in the top 10. And of course, the Vikings had the worst offense in the NFL, only scored 11 points per game, only had 4 passing touchdowns all season long, only 5 rushing touchdowns. That's pretty freaking awful. Only 169 rushing yards all season long. We had a total of 1,200 yards, 52 points per game. Kind of expected to be a little bit higher than that. 75 passing touchdowns and 40 rushing touchdowns as a team. Sam Bradford had 73 touchdown passes, 13 interceptions, and was only sacked 13 times. Latavius Murray had 2,000 rushing yards and 20 touchdowns. McKinnon, our backup, had 14 rushing touchdowns. Receiving wise, I believe last time Blake Bell had 27 receiving touchdowns and still wasn't in the top 10 of the MVP race, which is freaking stupid. But this time he gets 20. Adam Thielen had 15 and Laquan Treadwell had 17. Now defensively, we still had somebody have 139 tackles, which is crazy. We did not get a sack or an interception all season long. That is pretty freaking incredible, dude. We have a ton of players with 100 or almost 100 tackles and above. That's probably because they were on defense a lot, because we scored a lot and scored quickly. Now, if we go to the Vikings, let's check out their stats. And they probably had some, almost had 30 sacks. That's how did he not come in the top of 10 of the MVP race? 29 sacks, Sharif Floyd with 19, Danielle Hunter with 17, and Linval Joseph with 13.5. What's crazy is we had a 0 overall player with just as many tackles as their leading tackler had with a full 99 overall team. That's a little wild. They only had 6 interceptions lead their team, which is kind of surprising. Now let's check out their offense. This is going to be the most interesting part. Mike Glennon, great season. 1,200 yards passing, 4 TDs, 14 interceptions, was sacked almost 100 times. Rushing wise, Mike Glennon was their leading rusher with 82 yards, and Bishop Sankey was not a very good running back by any stretch of the imagination. Receiving wise, had a couple wide receivers with 300 yards, Kendall Wright and Marcus Wheaton, and their leading, where did the other 2 touchdowns come from? So Zach Miller had 3 catches for -1 yards, but somehow scored a touchdown. Kendall Wright had -69 yards after catch. That's not good. So I want to see the regular season really quick, how he won some of these games. Like, still some of the games are pretty freaking close. I feel like if you were to do this simulation like 20 times, you would have at least 1 year, since some of these games are really close, where one of these 2 teams would have like a winning record, and I'm not sure if they could win the Super Bowl, but with them being so close, like with last time we did this team went 0-16, and somehow this time got 5 wins, just because all the games are super close. We have a couple close losses, and then we win a game 51-32, 69-63. Even our wins are super close, which I guess that kind of makes sense. We lost a game by 3, lost a game by 3 again. We won by 8, lost by 9, won by 7, lost by 14, won by 13, and somehow okay, that makes sense. So when we played the Vikings, they beat us by 10 and held us to 21 points, which is still pretty freaking impressive. And they somehow scored 31 points on us. But I guess we had to play them twice. We played them so we split the season with them. We won one time, scored 51 points on them, and then they won the second time around. They scored almost the same amount of points both times around, which I do want to go and see really quick how the stats look in this game. I want to see how their offense played in a game like this. Mike Glennon threw for 359 yards and a touchdown and no interceptions. And Sam Bradford, the 99 overall, threw 3 picks. Now, last thing, I do want to look at the Vikings record, how they won some games. Scored 0 points a couple times. Scored 32 points against us. So their points per game would have been a lot lower if it wasn't for playing against us. They beat they beat the Browns of all teams. But to continue the tradition, to end off today's experiment, the winner of the Super Bowl ends up being the Green Bay Packers over my Tennessee Titans 38-31. So that is going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and if you did, make sure to smash a like. Let's see if we can smash 2,000 likes on today's experiment. If you guys do have any future Madden 18 experiment ideas, let me know in the comment section below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and to turn on the notifications.